Hi, welcome back to Tiny Classrooms Live.
And hi, the doctor here, Don Zulu in Taos, New Mexico.
And I'm Marty Nathan, the HR guy here in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Mike Benner, it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm the expert for entrepreneurship in companies.
And my name is Lily Rode, and I'm bringing the entrepreneur spirit into your company.
Excellent. And our topic today is stop looking back so we can start to move forward. And you know, there's been an abrupt shift over this past year in how people work and how companies operate. And that shift includes today nearly 50% of all workers are working from home. And that was probably less than 10% a year ago. And about half of all physicians are treating patients through telemedicine instead of in the office. And online spending is up over 77% over a year ago. And interestingly, digital restaurant orders are up 63% over a year ago. And as we all know, nearly 2 billion children globally are studying from home instead of in classrooms. So this is a big shift that our employees and our companies are going through.
You know, and that leads us, doesn't it, all of us to the idea of grieving loss. You know, whenever things change rapidly and are often forced to move forward into a completely different ethic or a different environment, if you will, we tend as human beings to sort of think about the old days. We've all heard somebody say, "Oh, boy, wasn't it wonderful in the old days?" You know, remember the old days when you had to put ice in your refrigerator instead of the ice making refrigerator? So there's things not necessarily to mourn, but human beings by definition struggle to accept the way things are. And even as it's hard to see the present or even the future, on the current trajectory we're on, it's tempting, extremely tempting to look for a return to normal. You know, and as a psychologist, the idea of normal is sort of an anathema because there's really no such thing. It's whatever it is at the moment. And then it moves, and then it moves, and then it moves. And so what if we don't? What if the people who work for you in your company don't move forward? They hold on rigidly to the past. That's really going to take you right out of the competitive stream because all the other companies around you are moving forward. They're adapting to the future. They're adapting to where we're headed rather than looking backwards. And if that's true, then the organizational leaders who are able to open their eyes to the reality, you know, whether they like it or not, and work to embrace the future, will be the way ahead for those of us attempting to return to the past.
I'm so with you on this one. Grieving is certainly good and a must, and also cherish what we have. But, you know, there's a time, like even now during the pandemic, but most certainly after, where things are going to be blossoming again. So I think it's really important that we start to think about a new starting point, so where we can actually move forward. And in all honesty, I think we should also admit that what was going on often didn't serve us that well. The fact that it's in the past is actually a good thing. We should now look forward and see what we can make out of it, how we can prosper, how companies can interact, become more productive, also how little tweaks can actually be avoided from the system if we just take everything that's there under control. And I often also talk to my clients and I'm saying, well, yes, of course, no one anticipated the pandemic. It certainly was not the perfect time to hit us. But think back, the first companies like Amazon and Google, they became big 20 years ago. So now being in the situation, we have so much IT systems at our hand, they're really pricey in a sense. So now is also the time to, even if you still were thinking in the past, focusing on the past, now is the really time for all organizations to get on board, to become competitive, and make full availability of the tools that are out there, and also the training that comes with it. So now we have much more systems, online training, schools are going to be online, teachers are equipped to teach online. So it's a perfect way to start over right now.
Very good. That's very good.
Exactly, and that's why we should all step forward. So I love the saying that when we are no longer able to change the situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. And we also have to remind ourselves that happiness isn't found in yesterday or in tomorrow. Yesterday is found right now, right here in this very situation. And also, if we are going through these challenging times, we have to figure out what will be then for the future. So also what you, Maike, just said, but it's really important also for leaders and keeping the motivation of the team to really live in the moment, cherish what you have right now, and also figuring out, okay, what is what we have right now, which we can maybe improve, so to be even better in the future, and to be ready for the post-corona or post-lockdown situation, because there are so many opportunities out there, and the opportunities are created right now. So you can create right now the next Google, the next Apple, the next whatever, or just to